of their plates. They say food costs are too high and the quality is too low. The simmering concerns include food safety due to rolling blackouts, but special offers and savings campaigns are tantalizing some taste buds. Let's take a big bite now into this discussion with food safety expert Lucia Anelich. Lucia, good afternoon. I can promise you I did not write what I've just read, but welcome to today and thank you very much for your time. I mean, it's pretty bad. I mean, you pay so much for food nowadays. Food inflation is around 12%, if not more, but the quality of the food apparently is not great. What we put on our plates has been impacted severely and negatively by load shedding.
Yes, good afternoon, Dan, and thanks for having me on your show. Absolutely, the load shedding has created such mayhem related to food, the food keeping quality, its shelf life, and of course, it has an impact potentially on food safety as well. So it has definitely had quite a significant effect.
Yeah, I mean, what should food quality look like? I mean, is it about the taste, the look, and the nutritiousness? What is it about the quality that we should be concerned about?
Food quality is actually quite a rather broad term. So within the term food quality, we look at nutrition, we look at the appearance, we look at the value of the food, etc. But also one of the more important aspects, of course, is this, whether it can spoil over time, and if it spoils, what does that look like, and what can be done to prevent that? In other words, to extend the shelf life of the food, and of course the food safety aspect. If there is a food safety risk related to a particular food, your foods that are the most vulnerable, of course, are your perishable products. It's your raw meat, raw chicken, raw fish, soft cheeses that have a short shelf life, yogurts, milk, things like that are the more affected ones.
Yeah, you know, the research that has been done by PwC talks about the other side, which is that shoppers are a little bit more positive when they go around because of the special offers that are there due to the decline in real income. That's good, but they worry about the quality.
Yeah, well, it is illegal to put any food on the market that is not fit for human consumption. So even if there are special offers, those special offers have to remain within the law in terms of what I've just mentioned. So special offers are a good thing, especially from a price perspective, a saving perspective, but they are not permitted to renege on the quality of the product whilst offering the special offer.
Yeah, no, Dr. Anelich, our reality is this. Load shedding is still with us. We've gone back to stage 6 as we speak this week, and we are told by the Minister of Electricity, Hussein Soramokopa, that by the end of the week, we will have lesser stages of load shedding. We're waiting to see. But the impact, I mean, it's not going to stop now. And from a food safety perspective, what would you advise? I mean, even in us, how we handle our food nowadays, in order to make sure that it's of that standard that it gives us a healthy sustenance.
Exactly. Well, if it's perishable, it's best to buy it frozen, if possible, and put it in the freezer. Even during load shedding, if a freezer stays closed, it will last for about 48 hours. The 4-hour stints of load shedding are the more problematic ones. And of course, even if you have 2-hour stints and you have several of those during the day, the refrigerator will not get an opportunity to regain the low temperature at which it should be running, which is 4 degrees Celsius. So the moment those temperatures are higher than 4, the bacteria can start multiplying in the food. And that's exactly what you try to prevent. So yes, it is a challenge, especially with the perishables. I would suggest that people try and buy the non-perishable foods as much as possible, canned foods, long life juices, long life milk, and also vegetables that are still whole in their skin. If you take a butternut, for example, buy the butternut with its skin on. It has a much longer life than butternut that's been peeled and cubed and placed in a packet which has been flushed with certain gases. That shelf life is a lot shorter. So I think one needs to shop a little smarter But definitely when it comes to perishables, freeze them if you can. If not, buy smaller amounts and consume them as quickly as possible.
And very briefly, Doc, what about canned foods? You've mentioned them. I mean, they've got dates, expiry dates. I hear stories like there are shops that are selling even canned foods that have just gone over the expiry dates.
Right, so it's an important point you make because it's not actually an expiry date on the canned food. It's what we call a best before date. Now, best before just means that the quality, the color, everything in the canned product is as it should be, as it was intended to be when the product was manufactured. When it goes beyond the best before date, it is definitely not a microbiological issue, so people will not suddenly get sick from eating those canned foods. The quality of the food may deteriorate very, very slightly, if at all, and that's the reason why there is a best before date. But the product is still perfectly safe for human consumption.
Is there a window where you must dump it? 6 months, 3 months?
Again, that's a difficult one to answer because you've got canned fruit, and then you've also got canned meats and fish, which are all the so-called low-acid canned foods, which are more susceptible to organisms. But as long as they stay closed, as long as the can stays sealed, the can last for quite a long time.
Thank you very much for your time, your insights and explanations there. That's Dr. Lucia Anelich. She's a food safety expert.